What's up, everybody? It is a Blue Drake, and today we're going to be having our meeting for Iron Armada. This is the end of week meeting. We have these at 4 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. For those of you who don't know what's going on, these are the meetings that we have that organize development, and this is actually how we develop games as a community. This is kind of like a process and a thing that we've been working on for years, and we're getting better at it all the time. But for those of you who are always asking, like, how did we make the mods way back in the day? How do we make our games like Iron Armada? How are we even going to potentially make games in the future? Like, a lot of people are talking about, like, if we were to make a first-person shooter with the community, like if DRK was to make a, FPS or whatever, this or that or that. This is how we do it. This is how we organize our meetings, and now we're just broadcasting them to the public because it helps, and I think it makes everything better and it's more fun, and we just get everything completed faster. So thanks for showing up. If you guys want to, you can go to the Discord where everything is open, and you can join there. Besides that, we're just going to be going over all the normal stuff that we normally go over for today, and then hopefully we're going to have a patch out, and then we can also play with everybody if that also happens. Okay. Anyways, onwards. Okay. Cup is on time.
Kaba's not fucking here. He's not answering anything.
Oh, is he really? Kaba? Kaba? Of course, naturally. So today we're going to be discussing this week's progress on development issues and tickets, discuss design and suggestions from the community, release a patch for this week's targeted issues. The agenda is we're going to release patch 3.3.0, overview new Steam release ready packer configuration, test that. Discuss an overview next week's development milestones, have a focus group on networking optimization. Then we're going to discuss single-player implementation, assuming Kuba's here. Then we're going to have an open discussion on design ideas, get feedback from the community, etc., 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 on things that they want to see, and all that fun stuff. Anything else that anybody wants to go over? I think that's it, because we've got to wrap this up at 6 today, so I think
Sounds good to me.
That's probably okay. All right. First things first, let's get Donkey in here and figure out if Kuba is having technical issues, which is maybe why he can't hear or do anything. Oh, I'm gonna message Donkey.
Get it, Cammy. There you go.
I like how Kuba just typed something at 3:56.
Yeah, he was typing.
Oh, Kami's here. Hey, Kami.
He was typing
Kami's
stuff 4
on,
minutes ago. 6
Yeah, I
minutes
know.
ago, he typed something in source code. So.
Just, I mean, he's
around.
in the voice channel and everything.
He's probably just trolling.
No, he's not trolling.
Well, you asked me to show up. So.
I did. But I guess we could have get an overview of that later. I really want Donkey to show up. Oh, there he goes. He's
Here, donkey, donkey, donkey.
Apparently, Cub is having Discord issues.
Swear to God, Gibbs, if you just keep spamming connect like this.
Yeah, Gibby, sorry. Not for this meeting. I'll keep you muted. Not being rude, just got to talk about important stuff, I guess. Keep on topic. Any suggestions, though? Just type in IA chat. We'll look at them. It's not you, Gibby. It's just if I unmute you, I've got to unmute everybody to make it fair, and then yeah, get a bit crazy.
Should I like disconnect Cubba and then have him reconnect? Alright, so first things first, we'll just go over the new release, which should be ready to go. 0.3.0. Here's the two builds. Wait, what? Oh yeah, right, that's forgot. Dropbox. No, not that. Give me the link, please. That. We have those, and we need to get those turnkeyed.
What now?
We're all waiting on Cubba, basically. God damn it! Why isn't this?
Oh, I'm
Oh, it's
sorry. But traffic is going through two different text channels. And...
I guess we'll just type. There he is. Hey, donkey. Alright, hey Donkey, can you go ahead and can you check 330, the server and the client, and make sure that nothing's critically wrong, and then we're gonna get those, we're gonna distribute the patch.
Alright.
Alright, so we're gonna do that now. Alright, so fixes for 330. Let me go ahead and type out the changelog.
Right here. Hello?
Let's see. Yo, there you
Hey,
go.
Cubba.
Cubba!
Yep.
Gotcha, man.
Alright, let's go through. What did we just bring stable up from? What was the previous build? That was...
3.2.0 to 3.3.0.
Hold up, I'm trying to find the previous commit. I wish there was a way that we could get it to show like the version number in the commit log somehow. I think this is it.
You can do that.
Do you want me to
weeks
put it in
ago.
the commit log? Okay. I will, from now on, I will do like version, arrow, version. Just for your use.
Alright, so that's their bump version. Here we go.
Add a
3.2.0.
pre-
No, I
commit
found it. It's here. So, alright, I'm just writing up what we've done. I'm going to go through the changelog. Refactored. Human. I was going to say... Well...
And the changelog for my stuff, at least, is basically just a change to the back end that you shouldn't notice. If you do notice it,
I was
I
gonna
did
say
it wrong.
I need to translate some of this stuff. I'm just gonna only write the things that people care about. If anybody cares about the technical stuff, you can just go like check the actual. You can go
Ripped
check
apart
the actual
one of the
commit
big systems
log.
in the game, and
One of
hopefully
the
you don't
things that
notice
I
a change.
normally do. Sorry.
All right, let's see here. Let's actually just go through everything. We can just do this just orally. Let's see. So fixed crash when respawning on non-existent core. Fixed issue with game not closing down properly. What else did we fix, Cubba?
Not sure if there's anything else that players will notice because everything else was back in discussed.
Rebuilt underlying systems to be I'll just say more organized for future development. It's a good broad way to say that. Fixed issue with servers not highlighting the selected, well, I'll say with selected servers not highlighting properly. What else? That's some stuff that doesn't, that's back-end stuff that nobody's going to notice or care about. And then we cherry-picked the penetration system. Removed use Steam override? For what? The client or the server? Alright, yeah, that's basically what did this patch. Donkey, let me know when you have tested and pushed that those builds.
You want them on the dev branch?
No. Let's push them to main, because we're still setting up continuous integration for that whole process. That's something else we're gonna go over today.
So you want to do the one thing which will break everyone's game? Okay, fine, go ahead. I don't care.
Wait, what? No, it won't.
You will not be able to connect to any server.
All right,
and you
wait,
haven't
hold
pushed
up.
the server
Hold,
patch
Donkey.
yet.
I'm confused. What? Wait, no, but we're gonna push the server patch at the same time.
You better do it because I don't see any server patches. So
I just uploaded
Sounds like
it.
you-
Iron Armada server 3.3.0. It's right there.
Does I need to do anything here?
No, just stick around, Kami. We'll talk here soon.
Roger that.
Do you not see that?
Why is it so much harder to switch it to dev branch, switch your Steam thing to dev branch, open it up on dev branch, make sure it doesn't like crash, and then just switch it over
Because
to
Donkey's doing that right now locally, and we don't have all that set up yet.
What don't we have set up? There's nothing to set up. I don't know what you're talking about.
That whole system isn't ready yet. So we're just doing it. We're updating it the same way we updated it last time, just this once, until we get that whole continuous integration pipeline finished.
It has nothing to do with that. Even if we had a continuous integration, it'd still be the same steps.
Kaba.
No, it wouldn't.
Pass continuous integration.
Look, Kaba, we're just doing it the same way we did it last time until we are set up to do it the new way, which we're not yet. Or even if we are, we haven't verified that yet. So we're just doing it the same way we did it last time now.
Okay, if it's broken, don't come to me. If it's broken, don't come to me. I told you should probably test it.
Kaba, why are you so... Kaba is salty today. Salty Kaba.
Because I spent all this time doing it the right way, and you're just ignoring that completely. It's just like, well, I wasted an hour.
What, doing what the right way? What are you talking about?
First setting to dev branch, then checking dev branch on Steam, and only then pushing it to main.
Have you pushed a dev branch yet?
You don't push to a dev branch. You push to the Iron Armada, and then you assign it to the dev branch. The same way how you assign it to the live branch, you assign it to the dev branch first. Then you set your Steam to the dev branch.
We haven't verified. Like, we're literally having the meeting to go through that right now. I have right here, overview new Steam release ready packer configuration, which should be a prerequisite for continuous integration, which is a completely different process. So we're just doing it the same way we did it last time, this time.
It's kind of related to continuous integration. It's kind of related to continuous integration, but not really. It's more
if you set it up that way, nobody else knows how to do it that way yet, because we haven't told everybody how to do it the new way yet. So if you've set it up that way, nobody knows.
Just an extra step. It's just an extra step where instead of pushing it to everyone in the world, you just push it to an alternative, and then you test the alternative. And then if you see the alternative works, you know it will work for the rest of the world.
Okay, you know what? We'll go back to the original. If it's broken, I'll take full responsibility for it. Donkey, push it the old way, and then if it breaks, then it'll be broken until we fix it in the next, during this meeting. Sound good, Donkey?
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, thank you. let me know. Let's actually go. Well, while we're waiting for Donkey to finish pushing the new branch, I'm going to look at the packer configuration. Give me a second. So apparently we have a new packer configuration from Mushrooms, which should output a Steam release ready build. And he also did a whole bunch of back-end work, I think still with Packer yesterday.
Yeah.
And then Glaze, do you know how to update the primary server that we have through Steam CMD?
No, I haven't done that lately. No.
We should probably create a bat file here. In fact, I'm gonna write that now. Let's yeah, we should create a file. I feel like we should maybe even distribute a file with the server that you click and will automatically connect. And Kami, can you unmute yourself and tell me if that's possible?
Yeah, you want to use a CMD file, not a bat file, though.
Okay, well, let us create a CMD.
Windows treats them
exe
differently in the way that it resolves variables.
Will that still work on Linux, or is that Windows only?
That's always going to be Windows only. If you want it to work on Linux, you'll have to provide a bash script. I can help with that if it's...
Okay.
So, there's a system on Steam that I see here called a depot system, and we can put files into that which are unique by operating system. So
Yeah.
maybe put the exe file as the Windows version of the
we'll do that. We have a whole pass of that
version.
that we're gonna do. We
So
were
that's something
actually
we should look into.
we were gonna
I can
do
barely
that.
understand you, Kubba.
Yeah, you are kind of. I think he's on his phone. You're on your phone, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't have any other microphone.
It's fine. We can.
It
We
kind
can
of sounds
understand
like mumbling to me, so if you don't mind, can you link me to what you were just talking about with this multiple... Or, no, you can't.
No. Just read the Steam SDK. So basically, there's multiple depots in Steamworks.
I know.
Okay. Wait.
I just have no idea what it looks like because I don't have access to it from my
There
side.
you go. Check source code chat.
Yeah, I see it.
Oh wait. No. Wait, Kami, you don't have access?
No, I don't have access to that
Oh well,
shit.
then no. Okay, hold up. That's a different problem then. 1 second.
Yeah, no, I don't need access to that. Don't worry about it.
What?
I
Why
was
not?
just... well, okay, fine.
Kami, you're a
Dang,
primary.
I ain't gonna work.
Yeah, you're a primary system admin.
Yeah, Kami should have access.
Yeah, that would be ridiculous. Let me get the. Actually, wait. I think I can...
just
Glaze,
make a
I just
note
give
of
it to
your-
you, right? I'll just get that. No. Send me.
So yeah, basically you can just set that like this file is only for like Windows 64, but
Send
this
me.
file is only for
Send me
Windows
that
32
information,
bit.
Kami, that I just sent you. And I'll add you when the meeting's over. Yeah.
Thank you.
We were gonna do that before we released, but it's a little bit complicated. But it is pretty powerful if you set it up right. You can essentially go through every single operating system and set it so it has unique file structures. But again, that's just one of those things. We'll have to have a focus group. In fact, look, I'm gonna tell you this right now. So we don't have enough time to do this now. I'm gonna say Monday. Let's do it Monday or Wednesday. Pick what's your most free day, Cubba? Monday or Wednesday?
Definitely not Wednesday, but
Okay, so Monday.
this time just doesn't work for me. If you want me to actually get stuff done as opposed to just talk, hit me up.
Well, hold on, wait. Let's say
these meetings are better for talking.
so 10 p.m. Eastern? Can you do that?
What time?
Monday.
What
So
time?
it's 7 for you.
Yeah, that should work.
Okay. All right, so we're going to have a focus group meeting on 10 p.m. EST where we cover Cubba's work on Steam's depot system, as well as integrating, well, I don't know, it's not integrating, I would say organizing our release pipeline internally within Steamworks. We will cover how to use well, I'll say we will establish a process for managing Steam depots and a not checklist. What's a good word? What's a good word?
Checklist, I think, is a good word,
fine.
actually.
Checklist
Fits.
for releasing new builds of Iron Armada. Is that good?
Yeah.
Because it's not that
I'm
it
just
doesn't.
waiting for.
I'm not
I'm
saying that
waiting
we.
for Donkey to upload
That's fine.
the repository.
Yeah. Donkey, let me know when it's ready. All right, so I'll say I'm gonna assign this to Kami. So Kami and I, we can work on this together later. I'd love to create, because I can't imagine this is gonna be particularly complicated. Because aren't there anonymous Steam CMD logins and stuff that you can use in order to update tools?
I do believe so. I don't think you can use that to upload, but you can certainly use that to download. And I know from God, what was it? The Half-Life 2 dedicated server is a different Steam ID than Half-Life itself.
Oh, I forgot.
And
Hold up. Let me go ahead and share the
Yeah, tools do have their own Steam ID, which is unique from the actual game.
Yeah, we sorted that all out a few days ago, and you
Our
should be able
game
to download
is
the
581910, and our tool is.
I posted in
Our
roadmap. I
tool is like
posted
77.
the meeting minutes if you guys want to follow along. But anyways, yeah, Kami, it would be great if you and I could just get together and we could set up those files so people that don't know how to do things can just go in there and double click a file and it'll just automatically update their server.
automation is what I do.
And then also, let's see, what are the other things that we need to do? I need to Kami, let's see. We still need to. Did we finish that secondary VM, the Windows VM?
Yeah, that's what's running Jumper server right now.
No. The glazed.
That is the secondary one. Are you talking about the tertiary one for glazed?
Tertiary.
Sure.
Tertiary. Oh, fuck, God damn it. Fine. Yeah. No, that one is in the middle of installing. It's about halfway done with Windows updates.
Okay, cool. Finish installing Windows VM for glazed, and also discuss server infrastructure if we intend to expand third-party hosting options.
Did Astral get Linux working?
I don't know. You'd have to ask Astral. He's been sick.
Does anybody know if he had any of the servers working on Linux?
No, I don't think he.
We'll just
I don't
need to
know.
make a
Pretty
build
sure
for
not.
it. Yeah, we just need to make a build for it. That's all.
Okay.
So
the
we-
server doesn't bind to any natives,
Right.
as far as I know.
And then you and me, Kami, we should have a focus meeting. In fact, I'll say, Kami, what's a good time for you, Kami, in the future?
Ping me in DM, and you'll probably have my attention within a few minutes.
Okay. All right, cool. I'll try to. Are you free Sunday?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'll try to hit you up
Free
Sunday.
every day. I'm free almost every hour if somebody pings me correctly.
We'll have a focus meeting on Sunday where we can go over infrastructure because we need to do a big. We need to fucking clean out our closet because we've just got too much clusterfucky shit right now. Let's see what else. Donkey, you uploaded yet?
Yeah, and almost.
All right, cool. You can't say yeah, almost, donkey. That's a no.
Almost.
It's a fancy word for no.
Almost.
Okay, all right. All right, let me... Did I actually test this? Distributions. All right, so I am now going to delete these, and I am going to run our quick distribution packer, and we're going to see what it pumps out while we talk about other things, because that's going to take a little bit of time. Focus group meeting 10 p.m. EST. Who wants to show up for Cubba's focus group meeting on Monday? Cubba, who do you want to show up for your focus group meeting on Monday?
I mean, it's not complicated. I just
I
want
know,
to like
we just
add
need
one
as many
step.
people, so I'll just say SRD Donkey. Are you free Monday at 10?
Ideally, I want to make a document which will allow anyone to just read, follow
you
it,
just read it?
and
Okay.
and then like be able to do this. That's my goal from this.
All right,
for
so
that
maybe you and me and whoever the hell else decides to show up will show up, and then we'll just create
Yep.
a single document that everybody can follow. We'll create a document
Exactly.
that outlines a standard procedure for updating builds and distributing new versions of Iron Armada that all developers can have on hand when updating depots. Cool. All right, we'll do that. All right, let's take a look at last week's meeting. Have you done anything with the Archon give command?
I have not.
That's fine. We need to create on Steamworks. All right, so let's talk about this. In fact, this is important. So DevComp. This is one of the reasons that we're not doing anything. We're not using that pipeline right now because we're a little bit confused. I don't really like the way that Steam sets up their stuff, where they kind of like for instance, we've got that trading forum on our forums that you can't delete, and there's a bunch of stuff like that on Steamworks, and I don't know, they kind of, I would like to come in to Steamworks and have it be an empty room, but they kind of do this half and half thing where they kind of set up some stuff for you, but you can't really tell what stuff is set up for you and what stuff is like actually permanently a part of Steamworks until you look into it a little bit. And we've got this DevComp package, and I can't figure out if DevComp is actually something that we should use for our staging builds, because they also say that you should not give the public access to it, but I would love to have the public to have access to our development staging builds. Like, that's the point. So the question is, what do we do with that? What do we do right now? Because
there are other games which have public access to the staging build. For example, Overgrowth has an automatic
staging build hosted on DevComp.
Has an automatic a daily compilation of their like working game, or their like working like in progress game. Daily it compiles, pushes to Steam automatically, and me as a random user with no privileges, I was just able to switch over to it and play on like the dev build.
Yeah, Blue Drake, you made that. You
So
made that DevCon.
they recommend you
Did
to
I
let
really?
other people
No,
play
see,
it.
I didn't make
But you
it.
can't.
It must have made it itself. It must have made. It must have when I created the game. I'm pretty sure it walks you through things that it like wants you to do. Where it's like, oh, you have to do this, this, and this. And I just kind of
we went and made it in the beginning because we were lacking our packages, and it was our first time setting up the Steam thing.
So when you create a
people DevCon
Okay.
for it to work, and that was
We can rename it. It's just a normal
okay,
stage.
all right, that's perfect. So that's a perfect question.
it doesn't. Yeah, it's just a name.
So we can we make that public? Is it public?
Well, yeah, it's already is.
Is it
I
really?
believe it is public. Yes. There's no
Really?
password to it. Anyone can switch to it.
See,
Who has the game?
Lexi, this
That's
is
not
why,
what the forum
this
said.
is why I know, but this is why I don't trust the fucking forums. Like this
That's why you
is.
asked.
No, I'm happy to be wrong.
If you were to give somebody a DevComp key, that's completely different.
Anyone with the game, anyone with that Iron Armada, the 581910, can
Okay,
access
hold up.
default
No, let's test
or
this really quick.
DevComp.
Who has access to the game right now and is not a developer? Say I or type I.
Baser says he.
Who?
Baser.
You go to your library on
Hold on,
Steam.
here we go. Shh. All right, stop. Spacer, you have the game, right?
Yeah.
Can you right-click and go to Properties, go to Betas, and see if you have access to DevComp?
I do.
You do. Okay.
Told you.
Does he has the beta key. Okay. So, what happens if we give a key to DevComp? What does that even mean? So like do all branches have their own keys?
No. I think a branch is just an optional thing. I don't think a branches have anything special.
But how come you're allowed to generate keys for branches? Like why do you have to specify?
You are?
Yeah.
No, it's not. Well,
Yes.
It's not for packages are different.
But DevComp is a package, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why?
That doesn't mean it's hooked up to branches. Branches is a separate.
But it must be because there's a branch called DevComp that was created when we created a package called DevComp.
No, you created the branch. I keep telling you that.
I created it separately.
Are you sure you can generate keys for branches? Because that seems a little silly.
I don't remember this at all. I remember creating the package of DevComp because it told us to make a package called DevComp. I remember that vaguely.
No, the thing is, you're not allowed. You can't create the packages yourself. They grant you them.
Okay.
Those sort of packages. But you created the branch because we didn't know at the time, since we were lacking the developer comp package. We thought, oh, is the branch thing the same?
So what I'm getting from this is the DevComp is a completely unrelated branch that has nothing to do with anything and only happens to have the same name as the package.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. That's what I was kind of hoping. I was afraid. I was like, well, shit, is this branch now somehow like deeply integrated into some weird thing? Okay, well then perfect. So DevComp is now going to be our de facto staging branch. Is that good for everybody? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fine.
And it will be public. Okay, cool. So we're going to say DevComp will now be our default staging branch and will be open to the public for testing.
Basically not password protected.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't care. I mean, there's nothing in there that we need to keep password protected. Like, it's just basically a beta version of the upcoming whatever. And will be open to the public for testing. And if anyone does not have access or has any kinds of strange issues trying to access DevComp branch, please let us know so we can ensure there are no issues with the depot permissions. That's all I want to know. All right, so that's good. I think, is this done packing now? Let's find out. Distributions. Looks like it is. Alrighty! Perfect! And it has a default CFG and everything. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Mushrooms. You're not here, but thank you. Excellent work. Okay, cool. So now, I'm going to say that. Our packer now creates Steam release ready builds that can be directly uploaded to Steam. This should make continuous integration more
By the way, we
feasible.
are live on the 3.3. Everyone update.
Yeah.
Go on Steam.
All right, let's check 3.3 and see if 3.3 is a massive failure. I don't think it will be.
Well, don't join the servers that haven't.
Oh, right. No,
yet,
hold up.
obviously.
Yeah. Somebody kick me out of the server and update the server to 3.3. In fact, this is a good question. Can you still see servers that are a previous version than yours?
Yeah, because there's no filter set up currently.
Well, we need to do that. All right, so that's an issue. Currently,
it won't let you. It will. It should try connecting to it. It should
it'll kick you. It'll
refuse.
kick you.
It should gracefully kick you with the message that out of date version. So make sure it kicks you properly, as opposed to like crashing or something weird.
Yeah.
So please try connecting to an out of date version. This is a test.
All right, cool. So we, oh yeah, hey, there we go. So that's fixed. Should look into implementing a filter to help clients connect to correct servers. Let me check that really quick. Refresh. See if it kicks me out. Yeah, there we go. Update required or incompatible server. Yeah, we should make a filter for the server browser so that just doesn't happen. I'm happy that that's working though.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Oh, look at this. Look at all this stuff coming together. It's almost like we're actually adults. All right, cool. Old Packers, this should make... So Packers now... Oh, there's something else I was going to do. All right, I have to go through... Blue Drake needs to go through packed default configuration files and make sure that they are release ready on pack. So I need to do that because right now I think our default configurations are still without Steam. So I'm going to have to go through and make sure that I do that. Let's go ahead and somebody update the official server, please. Is somebody doing that?
I'll go do it then.
All right, perfect. Donkey, do that really quick. Jumper, are you updating as well? We've got this Aegis server cluster with somehow one person on it. Actually, let me go ahead and also check and make sure that it is closing properly. Uh-oh. Oh, that's not good. Hmm. I think there might be an issue with close down. I'm checking. Alt F4. Oh yeah. Looks like that's still hanging. So I am going to get rid of that. Game is still not closing down properly. This issue seems to only happen with builds that are live on Steam, since we tested the game off of Steam and the issue didn't occur. Or at least, actually, let me test that as well. Give me a second. I'm going to test stable, because stable should be updated.
Did I miss anything in the last 10 minutes? I had to go deal with some work stuff.
No, you're good. In fact, Kami, I think if you don't want to stick around, you don't have to, because we basically talked about what we wanted to talk about, and then you and I are going to have that meeting on Sunday. All right?
Roger that.
All right, cool. All right, let me test this locally. Cubby, you've got to go soon, don't you? Cubba?
Not on Fridays. On Fridays I am free.
Oh, you are? Oh,
Only
good.
Monday,
Then perfect.
Wednesday.
All right, we can take a little bit of time then, because I do want to have that focus group on networking optimization. I don't want you to miss that. All right, let's see here. You know what's funny? It takes longer to launch when it's not on Steam, too. Okay, let's see here. Alt F4.
Probably because it's packing and stuff.
Oh, wait.
Have you ever tested the vote kick? I've implemented that like a while ago. But no one ever.
No, I haven't tried it. No, I haven't tried to see how it works.
No, I haven't. We'll work on that. So this is strange, Cubba. It may still be happening, even in stable. Or even in the build that I just packed.
Yeah, I haven't. I put a big disclaimer and said I haven't tested it, so I'm not exactly sure what could be causing it not closing down properly. I'm not exactly sure how we would diagnose to figure out that either.
Actually, you know what?
So yeah, the scrap amount has to be greater than 0 and greater than or equal to the amount, or less than or equal to the what the player has.
I'm gonna check a few things. I might have messed something up. Give me a second. Okay, that works. Hold up. I'm starting to wonder if I
Looking at the code, the scrap giving should
I'm
be
starting to
okay.
wonder if I like distributed the wrong version or something. I'm just going through the idiot test to make sure I didn't do anything like super stupid, because that's totally possible.
Are you getting my crash log?
No.
Did the merge delete it? I don't know.
No, hold up. I'm gonna test something. That's 330. Fusions. Armada. Stable. Okay, no. Wait, no, this is 320.
Deleted it. Let me check.
Hold up. Yeah, let's double check that. Let's see, so that's latest on stable. Run client. Doesn't seem to be an issue. I'm trying to figure out if I maybe made a mistake and if it distributed master instead of stable. But I don't feel like that would make this problem because it should have been fixed on
be
master
better,
too. Yeah, like so. I'm confused on why it's happening now and it wasn't before.
Well, you never tested it before, so you
I
never
did.
know.
I tested it before and it was fine. It was
On
working
Steam?
before. No, not
Did
on
you test it
Steam.
on
No, but
Steam?
I just tested it locally and it's still doing it locally. That's why I'm saying there's a problem.
Oh. Let me check the commits. Maybe I deleted something.
No, hold up.
Like in the merge.
No,
maybe
no,
I
no, no. I'm starting
undid all
to
the changes.
see. There's no. I don't think this is you. I think this is me. I think I messed. No, wait. No, it's still there. Oh wait, no. That's because actual Iron Armada is running. Oh my god. Second. I'm such an idiot. Sometimes these things happen. See, I've literally gotten to this point where I accept that I'm an idiot, and this is why I go through these processes now, because I guarantee when things like this happen, I'm like, I need to make sure that I didn't do what I normally do and do something stupid. I have to like go all the way back to the fundamentals.
Just right on the back of your hand, don't be an idiot.
Yeah, like, right? Like, I'm just going through all the idiot things that I know I would have maybe done. Like, did I pack master? Did I fucking leave the... Like, just now, I was like, Iron Armada's still running. I don't get it. But I actually had the Steam version of Iron Armada still running after I'd closed the dev build. And I'm like, oh my god.
At least you're having a go, mate.
Let's see here. So here is stable. Let me find it in the processes. Does it even show up?
Yeah, it should come up as Iron Armada in background
man,
processes.
you know what? No, it doesn't. Oh my god, what if this is what has been the... Oh, wow. Alright.
So we fixed it?
No, we didn't. And
Alright, this is why we push builds to dev on Steam.
Why. No. See, I think I know why. When we're launching, when we're testing the dev build, it doesn't show up as ironarmada.exe. It shows up as a Java binary.
Yeah,
and
this is why I said like we push the build to Steam and test it there on our dev branch.
And then when we pack it, it's okay. So the issue is all right. So we're just gonna say, in fact, I want to go ahead though. I want to make sure there's no other issues. Donkey, join the server with me so we can shoot at each other, because I want to make sure that I didn't like somehow accidentally pack Cubba's weapon penetration system or something.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm already on. Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, I'll be there in a second. All right, so then that issue is
was
still
the one
outstanding.
thing I tested. That was the one thing I tested that stable did not have the weapon system.
Still not closing down. Nope. Okay, this is so we're gonna say this. The issue is still happening on development builds as well as stable builds. Damn it. I'm typing. Where? All right. Blaze, just fly to me.
Yeah, it's slow starter ship.
Yeah.
It'll take a minute.
Crap. Can we cheat? You know what? We are. We're gonna cheat. Dev hacks.
That's what they're there for.
Donkey, help me build this really quick.
So yeah, stable does include the thing, my fix. So
it includes
it
the fix, so if it's alright.
So the fix is not working. Is
Yeah.
what we've learned. Does
Alright,
the
we
game
need
ever
to.
close correctly? Is my question.
We need to. No, we do. If you hit exit game, it'll close fine. It's only when you like Alt F4 or have a crash or something like that. In fact, I'll test that after this really quick, because I'm pretty sure it'll still work. Here, I'll just meet you at the center planet, Glaze, unless you're already like there.
I'll be there soon, hopefully. Just put a couple extra engines on.
Yeah, same.
I recommend hopping into God mode and just flying. I think it's faster.
Oh, we want to get the ships next to each other.
Oh yeah, that's kind of important.
Damn, were we really fast in you? This is like the slowest starship too.
Give me there.
Hello! Alright, moment of truth. If the weapons penetrate, then it's master. And then we just have to repack. Are they passing through you? Nope.
It's hard to tell with the Gatlings, I guess.
No, not really.
Doesn't look like it, no.
No.
I can make an armor block.
I mean, they pass through you sometimes just because of, like, they're glitchy, but... No, that's normal. Okay, yeah, we're unstable. Or at least we should be. Either that or we're on some weird commit of master, but it seems to be fine. Okay.
Sounds like stable, because that's one thing I tested.
Alright, so Iron Armada still currently not closing properly. Here, actually, I'll go ahead and I'll test and make sure that it actually does close properly when you exit the game. Because it usually seems to just crash, or it seems to only do that when you exit improperly. I launched the game twice.
Yeah, the exit button just uses system.exit, so...
Yeah, see, and it's not there. So when you close the game properly, it's still not there. It's only when it crashes. So we need to, you know, fix some kind of, yeah. All right, so that's done.
I wonder if a change is simple as changing from exiting with the return value of 1 to switching
Just
it to return
add like
value of
a
0.
default system thread exception handler or whatever, and just exit the game normally when that
I think
happens.
that's the thing, 'cause currently I exit the game with 1, and the way it works, like the button exits it with 0, and it looks like the button works, but the other one doesn't work. So I'm thinking that it's
We'll figure it out later. We're just gonna have to spend a week trying to figure that out. But this is
And,
we'll just
I'm
have
not exactly
to.
sure.
It's going to
about
be a
the
priority
thread
now. So, because obviously, whenever there's something like this and we try to fix it, and then our fixes don't work, that means there's some kind of fundamental misunderstanding that we're having. So, this is just going to have to be something we all focus on and pitch in on trying to figure out.
And currently, the thing I did only handles exceptions on the main thread. I am not.
If there's like some kind of like secondary thread or something that's running a process,
You just it's like system.set default error handler or something like that, and it just sets the default error handler for all threads everywhere.
Okay, thank you.
And then you can do a runtime.shutdown hook.
And then also,
like
I'm gonna put another thing here. Remember when testing in development repository that the process is not an exe, a .exe, and is an unlabeled Java binary process. Because it does not say Iron Armada on it. It's just a random. You'll see it, but it's in fact, let me run it once so I can actually get the exact name. Anytime now. Anytime now, Gradle. Piece of shit. I've decided that we're just going to build this game in Photoshop. That's going to be my IDE. Alright, yeah. Java TM platform SE binary. That is what we need to look for. Boop. Alright, cool. Okay, let's see here. Overview, new Steam Ready release package, which should be a prerequisite for continuous integration solution. Alright, we're going to have that focus group on 10. I'm going to say, Lexi, is there any input that you have on how we have a continuous integration solution? Like outside of, because we'll obviously have that meeting with Cubbo where we talk about, because we're going to get...
Obviously what? We've
got the dev comp thing. I guess honestly we could probably figure this out right now. Where did I write that dev comp will now
I
be
can't hear anything.
Really?
Sorry, something.
Oh. Hold on, figure that out while I do this. So we've got this dev comp thing. Current setup hacker builds a Steam ready release .zip dev comp hosts a staging branch depot stable our primary release.
Okay, there we go.
Depot. So what we need to do is need to...
What did you want? My Discord reset my audio.
No, I'm just asking for some input, but one second, let me write this up. Create an automated pipeline which pushes our Packer distributable to Steamworks dev comp branch, create a trigger which internally merges dev comp with stable Steamworks branch on a turn key command. And it doesn't really have to be turnkey, just like Need to have something that's like,
So my general suggestions or opinions on it are that we should have something that just every night builds the current stable branch and pushes it to Steam.
Okay.
Just period. Just every night that happens. And that gets pushed up as the dev comp or whatever. And then whenever we want to, we can just merge dev comp to stable.
So
or
this
to
is something
release.
that I need to talk to Kami about, because we'll actually have to set up a server that manually does that, correct?
I was looking into it. GitLab has its own internal CI build pipelines.
Yes!
Yeah, well, basically what they said is, back in the days of old, you'd have to set up and maintain your own Jenkins server to do all this crap, and now we can do it internally.
Perfect. Yes, has its own internal CI integration.
Now, don't get your panties in too much of a bundle yet, because it might be an enterprise solution.
All right, GitLab potentially has its own internal CI integration server, which would be dope. That's less shit that I have to do. Fuck yeah. Thank you for the donation, Kyle. I forgot that was a thing that could happen here. I appreciate it. $2. Our cup run us over. Oh, hey, Astral's on. Astral, why are you watching the live stream and then you're not in the meeting? The fucking...
I can confirm and use enterprise.
Hold up. Dude, I knew he was, because I saw his server go down, and I was like, well, somebody's fucking updating his goddamn server. Is he here? If he joins, just unmute him. Alright, so, that would be dope if we could do that for our continuous integration, because that would make shit really easy. What else? Okay, I think I'm going to leave that for now, because that sounds pretty good. Let's see. So for Packer, well, we'll just go over everything so far. We've released 3.3.0, which fixes a couple fundamental issues. We're still having this mysterious issue where it will not close down. This issue is now escalated to priority, which means we're all going to pitch in on it, and we got to figure out what the hell's going on, because obviously we've had multiple attempts, which means we don't understand something. Oh, wait, what?
Is your GitLab version bigger than 8.0? Because if it is, then continuous integration is already bundled with GitLab.
We have continuous integration with GitLab. It's whether or not some of their CI tools are behind their enterprise edition. So, for example, their static code analysis is part of their enterprise edition.
Fucking shills! Fucking shills! I mean, GitLab's pretty nice, though. It may not be. I don't think it is.
I'm sure there's a way to trigger the Gradle build at the very least. And then after the Gradle, at the end of the Gradle build, we can just have it upload. There, like, worst case scenario, we hook it to a shell script or some shit like that.
All right, hold up. I'm talking to Astral right now. He might update Aegis, and if he can get Aegis up, I want to figure out. So I want to figure out how much Astral pays for Aegis, because, like, if it's like $100 a month or like $200 a month or something, then and it can support 200 players, then like I would pay for that shit.
And then we can he has a server at his house that he runs it on, I thought.
Is it? I don't know what the fuck he has. He has
yeah,
something.
He's got like some fucking like supercomputer that he uses to run AI.
We need to just figure out like... Alright, he's doing network updates right now. I just like, if we figure out the bottlenecks, like bandwidth, and then I can just buy like a super bandwidth server and then we just play the shit out of it. We don't. Alright, so, turnkey release 3.3.0, fixed crash with respawning, rebuilt underlying systems being organized for future development, fixed issue with selected servers not highlighting properly, which, to be honest, Donkey, looks really pretty now, so thank you. We now have a priority escalated issue where the game is not closing down. Everybody please help out Cubba with that, because I think we all need to give some input on why that's not working. So, overview of the new Steam Release Ready Packer configuration. Mushrooms has created a new Packer configuration, which now creates Steam Release Ready builds, which has everything in the root directory, so Steam can compile with its weird DLL shit that it needs to merge or whatever. I need to go through the default configuration files and make sure that those are also Steam ready, because right now some of them are defaulted to Direct Connect instead of using Steam's master server, so that's just a fucking true to false change, so that's not a big deal. I'm going to be having a meeting with Kami on Sunday. We're going to be going over creating a command and bash file for Windows and Linux servers, so people that are not good with Windows or Linux servers can just press a single button and it'll update it automatically off of Steam CMD's API. DevComp is now our default staging branch and will be open to the public for testing. I'm happy we had that conversation because I was in Steamworks the other day and I was like, where the fuck did this DevComp branch come from? Now we know. So that's good. So we're actually going to start using that. We need to set up our continuous integration. We have all of the pieces. All of the pieces are here. Now all we have to do is tie a string between them. We have Packer, which creates a Steam release ready zip, which is great. So that our entire compiling pipeline is like solid now. In fact, I mean, to be honest, I would stop there, but I think it's so few steps to automate to an actual Steam branch that shouldn't be a big deal. We now have our DevComp branch, which is going to become our default staging branch. And then we have Stable, which is our primary release depot. So we need to create something that pushes our Packer, which runs our Packer compiler and then pushes that distributable to DevComp. Lexi suggested that we set up a nightly build using GitLab's continuous integration server. Oh, internal CI integration server, LaMayo. So we're going to take a look at GitLab's pipeline tool, which could be really nice and save a lot of work. And then we'll have some kind of turnkey solution where every time we're ready to update DevComp to stable, we can have 2 developers or something come on and then just, flip a switch and then it'll push whatever current build in DevComp is there to stable. Also in the future, I'm gonna say this now. Well, we'll do this. Well, hold on. Let me finish this up first. Currently, the old server builds do not filter in the server browser if they are running a different version of the game than the client. We do have that really pretty exit warning though, which is nice, so that's sufficient for now. But it would be nice in the future to have, either have it so the servers don't show up at all, or ideally have them be like opaque or something like that, so you can tell that you shouldn't click on them. So something like that would be nice. Donkey, I don't know if you want to look into that. You can if you want.
Yeah, I know how to do it. So
okay, cool. So I'm just gonna assign that to Donkey. So SRD Donkey will look into implementing a version filter system, which unfortunately is going to be very easily abusable since our versioning system is like fucking ghetto as shit. But hey, whatever. Okay, so that's it for that. I was going to say something else and I forgot, so fuck it. Discuss an overview next. Something about Lexi. What was I going to say? Lexi, I was going to say something that you brought up.
That I'm a nice person.
Did I? It's probably what it was. Goddamn, this is going to bother me now. What was it? Was it something? It was something about continuous integration too. Oh no. Whatever. Who cares? Discuss an overview next week's development milestones, including issues, features, development goals, and testing events. Oh wait, what? Whoa! This is a thing? How does this work? Do you see this? Oh my god! Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
There's like a thing.
The other one.
I typed that up and it like automatically suggested that I could like assign it to you. I mean, it doesn't really matter because we use GitLab issues system, so I guess that's kind of redundant, but that was kind of cool. All right, anyways, discuss an overview next week's development milestones, including issues, features, development goals, and testing events, priority issues, fix close down issue with game not properly closing. We're going to do that. Have a focus group meeting at 10 p.m. Finish installing Windows VM for Glazed. Kami and Blue Drake should have a focus meeting on infrastructure on Sunday. Let's talk about everything else that we need to do. What do we need to do? What should be our milestones for next week? Other than the, fixing that close down issue, which is obviously a problem.
I think we should completely embrace the whole refactor that we're doing right now, where we're splitting up everything, reorganizing everything.
Okay.
We should continue with that. So we should go further. We should do it with renderer. Renderer hasn't been touched yet. We should do it with renderer.
Okay, so here's the thing. Should we branch that? Because here's the problem. You still need our current stable. If we had the close down issue fixed, I would be like, fuck yeah, let's go for it. But since we don't, I kind of want to branch master. So maybe we should make a master branch of our major refactor, because or we fix it independently and stable. We could just do that. Do we want to keep master branch for the major refactor and then just hotfix stable in its own branch? Because I've done that.
The smart thing to do would have been to test if it's fixed before assuming it, like I've been telling you.
We need to get this patch pushed out anyways, Cubba. It has like 3 major fixes for things that were crashing the game at the end of every round. So, like, I don't disagree with you, but it needed to go out today. Whether it was ready or not, like, the patch needed to go.
Okay.
Because, like, I mean, it's not like you're going to fix it, like, in the next 30 minutes either, so.
Nope.
Unless you do, which in case,
I don't even know what's wrong. I mean...
Exactly. So, this patch was going to go out no matter what. So let's say, let's see, let's strong split into 2 branches. Well, okay. Let's say begin major. Tell me if everybody's okay with this. Refactor of underlying systems into ECS on master branch. Maintain stable branch and implement hotfix for close down issue separately. Is that okay? Because if we get into this refactor onto master, it's gonna be the long haul, you know. And like, I'm okay with doing that as long as we also maintain stable and then we hotfix stable. Because I don't want to get to this point where, Lexi, how do you feel about this?
Well, I feel like the initial refactor pass shouldn't be long. It shouldn't be more than a couple of days if, like, it's more than just me working on it, right? Because the initial refactor pass literally will just be copy pasting all of the code out of that class into all of the subsystems that it needs to be into.
Yeah.
You know, like, there shouldn't be new code written. We shouldn't be trying to add functionality or change functionality in this pass. It should literally just be, let's just break this code into something that's less than 4,000 goddamn lines so we can touch it.
That's fine. I mean, fair enough. The only thing I'm just saying, because we've done stuff like that before that took a long time, so we could just start that.
I think what we should do is we should just fix the problem with Steam crashing, and then Kaba and Mushrooms need to come up with a time that they can work with me on doing this.
Okay, let's say.
And then it'll probably take us a couple of days to like get the initial breakup done. Unless we're planning on pushing out a hot fix, or not a hot fix, but a stable release next week, which I don't know what we exactly would be doing with that. I'd imagine we'll push a hot fix.
I wouldn't mind doing a hot fix for the close down issue. I think that's something we can do.
I think that's where doing a hot fix for, but we can do that after we fix it and before we start the refactor. What?
Now when you go to select a server, it actually highlights the one you're pointing at.
Isn't that nice? Feels good. You're just like,
yeah. Why did we rename the config folder in the server?
I don't know. I asked Mushrooms about that earlier, and I was like, why did... Oh, wait, no, I know why. Because now it Actually, I don't know. I don't know. He did it,
here's what you need to do. You need to make it so it doesn't create new ones.
No, it does that. No, that's what it does.
It will delete.
No. Listen to me. It creates a new one based off of the settings that you have set in the default.
What?
So you can go in there and you can edit the default one, and then it'll create a new one based off of the default one. That's what he told me. Now, I don't know why.
It used to be config.iron Armada server. Now it's
default.
Default config server.
But it still makes another one. If you run the server, you'll see it makes another one.
Oh, does it make another one? Okay.
It does. Now, I don't know why we didn't just have the default one be the one that were included by default.
No. You don't want the one that's going to be used.
You know what? Actually, no. Fair enough. It is nice to have a default one because then you have like a backup if you like do something crazy and like misconfigure something.
Well, not just that, but if I update it and it puts those files into my server.
No. It only does it if this file. It only does it if the folder isn't already there.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So this is fine. It was confusing because I was like, where the hell? So good. All right. Well, my server works. It's fine.
Else?
We're gonna begin. So let's begin a major refactor of the underlying systems in ECS. Lexi's gonna need to get together with Mushrooms and Kaba. So Kaba, coordinate with Lexi and figure out the best times that you can get to be there.
Yep.
Oh, hey, Lucas. Yeah, that's fine, dude. You don't have to stay. Jesus, you sent me that 15 minutes ago. Yeah, you're good. I think he's AFK. So anyways, yeah, so we need to organize a time for that. And then also, when we figure out whatever the hell is wrong with the close down issue, we'll just hotfix stable. We'll just hotfix stable branch, and then I'll just compile and push that. Okay.
Tonight, I will be using the DevComp in order to test hotfixes. So I'll push things to DevComp and test if it's a hotfix. I'll just make it a point.
Yeah, if you want to just do
some
some like
compatible with the server, it should be entirely compatible with the server. So
perfect. If you, I actually just realized. So this means we also need to make DevComp for the server tool.
Yeah, I already pushed the button to create it. So
okay, you already did. So I'm just gonna say that. So, Cubba and or Donkey coordinate amongst yourselves, because I know I asked Donkey to do it last, and I think he did some stuff. Need to organize our Steam work depots for both the dedicated server and also the not dedicated server client. Words. So just go ahead and so we'll have dev comp for both client and server, stable for both client and server, and then see, and also say then Cubba can begin doing some basic what's a word for when you do something as like a trial? I guess just trial. Yeah, sure. Trial run-throughs of the Steamworks pipeline to both ensure it works the way he expects and to also serve as an example to the other developers working.
I'm looking up how the CI works for GitLab, and it's pretty simple. Like I could also start writing like a CI file.
The GitLab pipeline tool. No, it's nice.
Yeah,
it's like all flowy and shit.
It uses like a YAML file.
Yeah, it's not bad.
You just list command. What else do you want?
No, yeah, it's great. So I'll say that. So let's go ahead and get that done, because as much as I would love to work on new features for the game and stuff like that, I mean, the whole point and the whole reason that we're public right now and having people test is we want to get the framework for the game, like the basic systems, just fucking bedrock solid. So that way when we do start implementing new features, it's just easy as shit. So for next week, I'm gonna say next week is gonna be that, we're gonna just continue focusing on fixing like the biggest of problems and getting like the base game as fucking rock solid as possible. Even though there's not very many features right now, which is kind of the point, because that makes it easier to fix and balance and all that stuff. If we just focus on just getting the basic game as it stands right now rock solid, then we can easily just start putting in all these new weapons and stuff like that. The last thing I want to do right now is focus on development of new features, and then having to go back and like fix fundamental issues that might affect those things, and it just exponentially increases the amount of work. So we'll get the basic systems just done as shit over next week, and then we can start focusing on design. But obviously in the meantime, we can continue still drafting design ideas, because not only is that fun, but it's also kind of important, because there are some upcoming features that we're going to want to put together that are going to require a lot more thought in order to make sure that it's like an elegant implementation. So next thing, here we go, the big enchilada, networking optimization discussion. I'll read over the ideas that we had. See, I don't think this was last week. This was the week before that. Yeah, here we go. So on the first, we had a discussion about networking optimization, and we put together 5 theories and different systems that could potentially be used to optimize the networking by a scale of a shit ton. We have our stopping of synchronizing immobile objects. We have our only synchronizing local objects. We have Lexi's idea for using box 2D deterministic physics. We have Selmec's theory of using client interpolation. And then, of course, we have a 5th theory of just generally looking into client-side prediction algorithms, or just God knows what else is available that we can use to just cut down on tick rates. So the first one and the second one, I think the first one we weren't sure if we were already doing, because somebody might have implemented it previously, but it just didn't work very well. The second one, we looked into doing, and then I think Cubba said was way more difficult than he thought it was going to be. The third one is still potentially really, really good, even though Box 2D doesn't do it as determinably, how do you say, determinably as we thought. It's still, there we go. Well, no, it does it deterministically, but it doesn't do it as
it's
deterministically.
not fully deterministic.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't do it as deterministically as we thought, but it still does it pretty well. And then Selmec's not here, so we're not going to discuss the interpolation. But if you want to talk about interpolation ideas, that is possible, because Selmec apparently has experience building interpolation libraries, which means he might have a whole pre-existing solution for this entire thing. So let's just... Let's put it up to a very, very small vote. What do we want to talk about first? Do we want to talk about Lexi's idea of deterministic physics? Do we want to talk about Cubba's idea of cutting down synchronization selectively, or is there something completely different than we want to start this conversation?
We want to do a holistic approach. I mean,
okay.
None of these are going to be turnkey on their own.
So let's where do we want to start this conversation?
Let's start with getting that ECS breakdown, because before we have the ECS breakdown, we can't really do much.
That's true. Do you want to wait and have this conversation until the ECS is completely refactored?
I would prefer to wait until we have the ECS system in place, because that's how we'll determine.
Okay, that's an answer.
That's where we deal with a lot of the synchronization problems.
We're going to wait to
one thing I want to ask questions about, and I want to talk to Lexi about this, is I'm in the process of, roughly in the process of creating some sort of tool to let us see, what entities are using what amounts of bandwidth, so we can maybe see an entity maybe is using tons of bandwidth, so we'll know that maybe this is where we should focus our optimization, because if we optimize it, it will have a serious impact. So what would be a good way of showing the ton of data, which is for every certain amount of time, how much data each component uses, so the component for all entities.
So the way I've done something like this before is, I think I was calling it a coughing logger system, where basically periodically the logger would just cough up a whole bunch of data, and you'd just build up pools of this data.
But how should I display it?
Well, so where
should I display it?
It'd probably be something that you do on the server side, and basically every single time an entity gets serialized, it will go out to some sort of a global file and increment a counter saying, my entity was serialized and these were all of the components that were on it. Or you could do it on a per component level, saying this component was just serialized, and every 15 seconds, every minute, just spit up that log and flush the cache saying, this component was serialized 1,000 times, this component was serialized 400 times. And if you want, you could put down the average size of the serialization or something.
So should I put this in a buffer, or should I just put this on the global log thingy just once every minute?
How I've done it is I just have a map of string and int, or a map of int and long or whatever, and I basically just grab my identifier, grab the int out of there, increment it, and push it back in there, and then every 30 seconds or whatever, I just go through that map, flushing the current values and resetting it.
Okay, so very similar to what I did.
Yeah, and I wouldn't worry too much about accuracy. If you drop a few messages here and there, that's fine.
Yeah, I think I might be forgetting 1 byte here, but I feel that's not really significant.
Yeah. Yeah, you're looking for kilobytes, not bytes. So,
is it possible to have some sort of UI that kind of looks like Task Manager that just has a list of entities that are being processed?
That's what I was thinking, but that sounds hard. To make an actual picture. And
that's why I'm asking. Is that a feasible thing to do, or?
That's possible.
It's possible, but it might take a lot of development. I was thinking of, because what Mushrooms did on his internal solution a while back was he just made he just dumped it to a file.
Well, the log right now, because we have the SLF stuff up and working now, anytime you just write to the log, it'll show up in a file.
Yeah, but his thing, he would write to a separate file, but he'd do it more frequently.
You can set up a separate file to have the logger write to.
Should I do this in log, or?
I'll show you how to use the SLF logger.
Oh, use SLF. Okay,
Yeah, I'll show you how to use that later. Pretty easy.
Because like I got the data, I got some data. I think it might be useful, but I want a good way of displaying it.
Yeah, I'll show you how to use the SLF logger. We'll just set up a separate log file for that data dump. Be super cheesy.
Okay.
By the way, every time I close down my server, I get like these logs that, what am I posting in from chat? So this is like cluttering up the main folder. Is it possible to have that go into its own folder versus the main directory?
I mean, you can always
for my
just
server?
delete that.
No, I know, but it does it every single time.
Do you want to send me one of the .logs and one of those .m dumps? Because I'm pretty sure that's your Java runtime hard crashing.
Okay, guess what it does when I close it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's your Java runtime hard crashing, and that's actually
You want the
not
M dump,
us.
the log?
Both. That's your memory dump, your core dump from the runtime exploding.
That's spooky.
It's probably something we screwed up.
Is it like system exit 1?
I don't know if it's still doing that.
No, it is not system exit.1. It is it's like a seg fault happening inside of the runtime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
and this is like you goofed. You goofed the system hard to the point that Windows steps in and says, "Get the fuck out."
Actually, let me close my. Is anyone in the server right now?
Windows doing something useful. It's more common than you think.
We close the current version and see if it does it. Doesn't look like it's doing it now. That was the old build, so it might not be doing it anymore.
Yeah. Well, regardless, if it keeps happening, just zip those up and send them to me. I'll take a look at them. But I'm pretty sure.
Segmentation faults.
I'm pretty sure that's Windows interrupting the runtime, saying, "Hey, runtime, you just did something you're not supposed to, and get the fuck out."
It's meltdown. We've accidentally created a.
Well, we don't have an actual exit from server options. Like,
yeah, no, you should be able to just hit the X button. That should do a graceful shutdown. Like that's the problem. Isn't you clicking the X button? But yeah, if you want to either get me those logs and I'll take a look at them and figure out what's going wrong, or if
I'll still send it to you. But yeah, it's not doing it now on the new build. So
yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So we're gonna skip network. Let's move on to. So this is the last thing. I just wanted to bring this up one more time. So Kava, do we have a quick and dirty solution for single player? Because I feel like that should be pretty easy. But if it's not, we can wait until the ECS is completed.
I don't think it's quick and dirty because one thing it will involve unavoidably is a change in our build because we'll have to bundle client. We will have to bundle server with client. So that is something that's like unavoidable.
Yeah.
So that will be one thing we have to do. So we'll have to have a separate build, or we'll probably just have to modify our build to include server inside of our client. So that's, and then we'll have to basically figure out a way of launch. It shouldn't be too hard. We probably just need a few lines of code which like launches the server from the client, and then we need to do it right so that when the client is closed, the server closes too. And then the connections and stuff should just be handled by like localhost connections, I think. We probably need to do a little refactor to where if you have Steam enabled, you can still connect to non-Steam servers, and then we can have this be like a localhost server.
Gotcha.
Or maybe create like a special type of connection where if you push single player instead of multiplayer, instead of going through the whole Steam stuff, it just assumes localhost.
Gotcha.
And then it like launches the server, assumes localhost, connects to localhost.
So we'll just have to create like a parallel system. See, so the question though, yeah, okay, I see where this is getting complicated. This seems kind of more like a build issue though than like because obviously we don't want to just like copy the server files to the client. That's disgusting.
Kind of we do. That's kind of exactly what we're going to be doing.
No, but so what?
Well, not copy. We'll end up a bundle folder with the same way how we bundle common with client and we bundle client with client. We'll just like one line of code, I think, just include server files inside of.
Yeah, exactly.
client.
So we'll have to set it up so it like packs the server files into.
Yeah, which is
Gotcha.
just like probably like 1 line, 2 lines in the config, but you have to be intelligent and know which
Yeah.
lines that is. And then we obviously need the single player button, which properly creates the server and like makes you join the server. Like, even if you have Steam, to make sure that the server is like localhost, so you can't like access it through Steam or something. And then maybe later on, if we want to get fancy, we can make it so you can like use that server on Steam. So like if a friend wants to join, they can like right click you on Steam and join your private server if you allow them. But that's like a future feature. Currently, we'll try to not allow that.
Okay. I feel like I'm using the word redistributable wrong. I just wanted to do redistributable, but it's saying that I can't.
What's
Call it.
redistributable?
Nothing. I was just writing something. All right, so that's what we need to do for that. That's fine. I just wanted to get some like basic things down for that. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm gonna say here. So we're gonna open this up to open discussion now. Here, by the way, this is one of our other. This is Hawkeye from Hardcore Clan. He's working on another project.
Gentlemen.
Yeah. So
Hi.
and then
Good, I hope I
Commander. I'll unmute Commander as well. Commander's one of the other programmers that's been. Commander's one of the community contributors. What you actually just implemented something the other day, didn't you, Commander?
Oh no, I am just working on it.
Oh, so
Oh yeah,
Commander.
he wants to do the Alt key so that it gives. If you hold
Gives
Alt
more-
when clicking,
Combine
it gives
multiples.
5.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I can help you with that if you have issues. It should be a fairly simple thing to do.
All right, so I'll just say let's see, one of our community members has been developing a feature for the.
Basically, what I would do is on the bit of code which gives you like the item, I would have a check for if you're also holding Alt at the same time, and then if you are, to request like 5 of that item.
All right, cool. So there's that.
Yeah.
So another thing that we've been working on, I'm gonna have to get everybody's like feedback. We've been prototyping this idea. We're not entirely sure how we want to do it yet, but our ships in the game right now are pretty cool. I like them a lot, but I think when the game finishes, we're gonna want to have more of like a permanent feel to the ships. Like we want the ships to feel like. We don't want it to feel like Tetris in space. I mean, don't get me wrong, Tetris in space is cool, and to be honest, we might even release like a mini game of the early versions of Iron Armada that is like a Tetris in space. But in here, okay. Do you actually wait? Do you know about this? I feel like I've told you about this.
You have not.
Have I not?
I am in the dark.
This is our game. This is the game that I.
You did a thing?
This is the thing he did.
This is a thing that we've done. To be honest, this is.
I fucking love 2D shooters.
Yeah, no, this is DRK has been working on this for 3 years, and we just released it like December, and now it's like it's like our main thing now that we're working on. This is why we stopped playing Project Reality.
You mean other than the fact that the game's dying?
Yeah, well, that's
It was before that.
Yeah, no,
It was before that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, this is what we do now. This is DRK's thing. Anyway, so we're working on this because right now the game feels like Tetris in space, which is cool. There's nothing wrong with Tetris in space. But when the game fully releases, we want the game to feel like it has more permanence. Like we want there to be we really want there to be kind of like what's a good word for this? like a persistence. Yeah, they're perfect. Thank you. We want there to be like a kind of persistence to the way that you play the game. Like we don't want it to be like, oh, you just fly into the middle of combat and you're just like slapping on parts and stuff like that. We want you to have a ship that you built in a shipyard, and you can customize that ship in a field, but you can't really customize it to the level that you can customize it like at a shipyard, or maybe even like different types of shipyards or different types of customizing your ships. Like, in fact, I would love there to be 3 tiers of this. I would love there to be like a what you can do by hand tier, a what you can do with a mobile shipyard tier, or mobile tools that are mountable onto other ships tier, and then things you can only do in stations and or like large construction things. And we're prototyping this idea right now where the stages go like this. You have your fundamental structure of the ship that you build out, and this is obviously just placeholder crap art. It wouldn't look anything like this. We want to, because we want to make it look a lot more like like a ship structure instead of a whole bunch of tiny little pieces just copy and pasted. But we would love to have it so you have your lowest tier of the ship be a framework that you build. So you build the structure, you implement.
Got your hull.
Yeah, you've got your hull, and you put hard points on there. So for instance, we were looking at this, like what if like here, where are they on the Photoshop thing? What if instead of placing down an engine, you actually place down like an engine pylon, and then on that pylon you could place engine parts. So for instance, you'd have like a large engine hardpoint, you'd have a normal engine hardpoint, you'd have a side, like a pylon engine hardpoint, or like a maneuvering engine hardpoint, and the structure of the ship would have these hardpoints. So when you're building the structure of the ship, you build the internals, you would have hardpoints for thrusters, you'd potentially even have hardpoints on the internals, like big components like fuel bays,
power plants,
exactly, stuff like that. But they're empty, like weapon hardpoints, like turrets, so you can put different turret heads on that, but the hull of the ship has these basic hardpoints. So that's the lowest level. And then the next level of customization would be like, okay, now you've got this hull, but you can actually refit it in the field without taking it to a shipyard. So you could maybe swap out the reactor, you could swap out the engines that you have mounted to your hard points, you could swap out the weapons that you have mounted to your hard points. Obviously it'd still take a little bit of work, but it either requires another ship or like a refitting bay or something like that, but it doesn't require like a huge fundamental like rebuild of the ship. And then you have light things that you can like change pretty quickly by hand. Potentially things like even like fuel lines, like repairing fuel lines, repairing corridors, repairing like armor on the outside of the ship, or maybe not. Maybe that would be something that actually you do require something a little bit more extensive in order to place. Potentially even make it so there's like internals of the ships that you place on top of the corridors, like I don't want to say furniture, but things like that. Maybe computer systems or terminals, stuff like that, that you can actually refit by hand. That you don't need large things to change. We actually had some different ideas. So for instance,
not to interject, Drake.
Oh, here, I forgot to tell you. We're live streaming this as well. Hold up.
That's perfectly fine.
No, I was going to show you because I'm showing stuff on the live stream that is like this.
Gotcha. So what you're trying to say, have you indulged yourself in what Star Citizen wants to be, or have you heard of it?
Oh, of course. I mean, yeah, we follow Star Citizen.
So kind of what you're going for is 2D Star Citizen.
Not really. I would say
I'm talking about what the way these ships work. You can do minor maintenance and stuff to your ship while you're out in space. You can do moderate maintenance.
You know what? Sure.
Yeah.
I would say sure. Yeah, that's true. The only difference is that with Star Citizen, the problem we have with Star Citizen is like you can't build your ships at all. Obviously, like you can't.
Correct. Yes. So you want to be able to build your stuff from the ground up.
We want to be able to have
as far as the maintenance.
But yes,
and that kind
in
of
terms
stuff.
of the gameplay, yeah. That's the point. We would love to have that kind of style of gameplay where you have your ship. Telling like what?
The way I imagine it's kind of like a Star Sector, but like you can also build the ship like itself, but then you can like retrofit the ship.
Star Sector is a little bit more advanced though. Like Star Sector is like it's crazy because like you can refit it in the field, but then you have to like pay supplies for a while because your like crew is exhausted, or like they get a little bit crazy in depth. Let me see. Let me go Iron Armada. So like I'll just show you kind of like now. Because if you play the game now, here, Hawkeye, do you have a key?
Do I have a key?
Yeah, I'll give you the.
I've got a car key. I've got house keys.
I'll hit you up with it after the stream. So
we got a real smartass here.
Oh,
yes, you do.
It's because he's hardcore. It's because he's from hardcore.
No, it's because I served in the Navy.
Hey, hardcore. Hawkeye, can. Oh no, I was gonna make a joke.
Yeah, nothing quite like being the giant tin can to make you hard.
It was gonna be too mean to hardcore. I don't want to be too mean.
Nothing like being in a giant tin can with a whole bunch of other seamen.
There we go. Exactly.
Yeah, it really gets me nice and hard.
Hardcore.
Hey.
So if you were to play right now, I mean, you can kind of feel that that's kind of like what the game is. Here, I'll link the stream. I'm gonna put it in roadmap because it's gonna be. Boop. There we go. You can check roadmap. So you can kind of feel that now, and that's kind of the way we have the testing game mode structured now. Like, you start with these default ships, and these default ships are kind of like what we're envisioning. Like, these are going to be the kind of ships that you go into combat with. And right now, we don't have... We don't... Well, fuck, I made these ships. Fuck you, Cubba. These are great ships.
I would just say that they're
Debbie
small.
Downers today. Are you on the reg, Cubba?
God.
That's rude. I've met plenty of people who are on the reg that are perfectly pleasant to be around.
So what he's saying is Cubba's worse. He's saying Cubba is worse. That's what he's saying.
Wait, what am I?
But essentially, the reason we have this core system is because, like, I mean, we essentially want to give the players cheat codes so they can build stuff really, really quick. But it would be really nice if in the future, you know, you take your ship out into battle, and if your ship gets fucked up, you know, like, you can't really do much about it. Like,
going into battle, and I require your strongest potions.
Shut up. That's not what I was talking about at all, Lexi. But, you know, hey, whatever. It's because he's got his cats. This is what cats do to you.
Potion seller.
I'm a dog person. I'm just saying.
So yeah, I don't know. So this is something that we're experimenting with. We have these ideas for this hull structure where you essentially build the underlying system of the ship, and then you kind of build components. You attach components to that. I really kind of want to make it like MechWarrior, honestly. Like, I want to have it so you build this fundamental ship, but when you take the ship into combat and you refit it, like, you're sitting there and like, okay, I've got this many pylons, I've got this many hard points that I can add, you know, this kind of weapon here. Let me see if I can find some art that Lucas posted yesterday.
So I see kind of what you're getting at here. I am looking at your stream right now. You're gonna have it so depending on. Hold on a sec.
Yes, dog. Yes.
Kills dog.
It's a husky. Yeah, hold on. Jesus
to interrupt
Christ,
for a second.
Hold on.
Yeah, Jumper. It looks like that crash is happening inside of a Steam call, which implies to me that we're not shutting down the Steam process on the server either.
Holy shit. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Of course. That's
So
How do we do that? How do we shut down Steam?
I don't know. You probably tell it to shut down. It's probably got a shut down method on it.
There you go.
Maybe it's actually called stop, halt, quit, exit.
Let's look for one because this is
cease.
Good.
Why can't I find this stupid thing that Lucas sent me?
Called Ocean.
God damn it! Where's the big gun that Lucas sent me? The big gun fucking.
I'm going to battle. I need your strongest potion.
I'm literally gonna look at
my
strongest
potions are too strong for you.
Potion seller.
So, like, here's an example of something that we're looking at. We were thinking about having it so you could not only have weapons on the sides of the ship, but you could potentially have, like, super weapon mounts that go on the top of the ship that are obviously, like, nerfed and slower.
Spinal mounts.
Spinal mounts. Just like...
No, that's like a thing.
Basically, yeah. Spinal mounts.
But yeah, these would be the kinds of things that you could customize in battle. So for instance, you could swap out that engine, you could swap out these engines, you could swap out the main gun if you're like if you have a ship around you that can help you refit, which obviously it's going to be its own kind of like it's going to be difficult by itself, but we'll have these different layers of customization. So when you actually take your ship in a battle, you actually have to work with what you have. But if you want to, you can, you know, fly back to a star station or something like that and take your ship into like a deep restructuring period. But obviously, it's going to be way more difficult and intensive. So that's what we're kind of working on right now. We'll have to get some insight on that. So I'll just say,
I'm a little I'm a little different on the whole, like, what should be on what stage.
No, I am too. That's why I'm asking for feedback. I really want feedback. Like, so we'd love to get some insight on ideas on how to implement a more advanced hull/structure construction system that incentivizes persistence. God damn it.
Wait, what if we put structure, corridors, walls, and hard points, all 4 on the same layer, on like the bottom?
That's what I was talking about doing before. So you'd have your hard point. You'd assign your bottom layer would be like weapon hard points, thruster hard points.
Okay, I see. That makes sense.
Yeah,
there's a difference between a conceptual layer and like an actual like programming layer. Okay, now I was being confused about the two. Okay. So like we might have like 2 programming layers, but that might conceptually just be one like conceptual layer. Like that's just it's like an implementation detail. Okay.
Let's see, and then so the other thing. Let's see. I'm gonna say currently I am. Let's see. I'll say currently we are discussing having 3 layers of ship construction. Hull.
I mean, I don't think outfitting is ship construction, really.
Let's see, hold up. Internal. Let's see, outfitting maybe?
Yeah, that would be like. I mean, there'll be more, like, because like there's actually a thing on the ship called a layer, which is like a programming thing. So there will be more than 3 of those, but like conceptually, we could just say there are 3. Like, there's stuff that requires that is hard to build, stuff that's easier to build.
Yeah. So the Steam API has a shutdown method that needs to be invoked before you shut down.
Okay.
I know it's hard to understand what the shutdown method does and when you're supposed to call it, or if you even need to call it, because it's not normally called shutdown. You just shut something down. It's normally called like go fuck yourself or read RTFM.
Yeah. But that's what I'm used to. Like, if you check the source code, we're actually calling the FU method in order to shut down, which I thought was the one we were supposed to.
Yeah, so it's an easy mistake. It's an amateur mistake, really.
I mean, everyone does it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when dealing with the code base that we've never seen before. So anyway, once I get home, I will add Steam.shutdown to everything in the world.
Or just add it to a shutdown hook. There's runtime, like the runtime class has a shutdown hook that you can just be like, hey, whenever you're shutting down, call this.
On program like startup in the main method when like.
Yeah, we already have a shutdown hook, so it might actually be worth like creating just like a shutdown hooks area. We have a shutdown hook that shuts down the logging system because that needs to get shut down.
I see. Okay, so I will. That's good. So I will look at how that is done, and I will use it to guide how I do my thing.
Okay.
I mean, last I checked, I thought it was already set up to have the server shut down properly. I know there's a shutdown method.
No, we apparently messed that up.
As you can look at it in the code, it should be there. Now, if it's being used properly, I don't know. But
I'm going to say specifically, I want feedback on the difficulty of, well, I wouldn't say the difficulty of the, what's a good word? The process, and I guess so, difficulty, fine, of placing different components. For instance, should corridors be able to be placed by hand, or should you require a shipyard to make those changes to your ship? Let's see, so like I'll just go.
My general like rule of thumb for this stuff is start super conservative and super strict, because the players are going to get really pissed off if you can place corridors and then we say you can't.
Yeah, that's true. I guess that's true.
So if we say you can't modify anything outside of a super mega shipyard, and then as we play it we start to figure out what feels like, okay, yeah, this I want to modify this right now, and it feels like I should be able to. I mean, that's not to say like don't give us feedback on it. Like, still give us feedback on it. But that's just my like initial approach to things. Is
I'm not.
It's easier to. Buffs are much better received than nerfs.
I am a very
Holy echo.
person. I'm in an elevator.
Oh, that was just a bathroom.
So yeah, I'm in an elevator. Elevator.
All right, now we're
I
gonna
thought
let
he was
Rain
about to be on
talk,
my
and
level.
Rain's not gonna abuse his privilege. All right, what Rain?
So in the elevator.
Hold up.
God damn it,
What Rain?
He's completely right about the giving instead of taking away. The thing about it is, if you start incredibly strict and then you start expanding the options of players, you're going to have positive feedback the entire time.
Yeah, so
you get to do that.
Yes, exactly. I would like for example, with the whole air system, is one idea we had is maybe with like your room isn't pressurized, you can't stand on the ship. You can only be in space, which means if your ship is flying, you're going to be like bumping around everywhere, and it'll just be impossible to move around. But then I thought that's kind of like too harsh, and it might be better to just make it so that like if your ship is pressurized, you get a speed buff. Maybe you get like an aura around you, for like which like helps you like repair faster. Maybe you repair faster as like a person. Maybe you have like a healing aura, kind of like how it's a.
Let me ask you this.
You give benefits.
Hold on. Is it
the pressurization gives benefits?
Let me ask this. I would love to test this separately. Like, do you think we could make a separate? How deep could our game mode go? Like, do you think we could make an entirely separate game mode where we could test this and have it be a completely? All right.
I was honestly
one of everybody shush.
Yes,
Okay, so one of the really big benefits of ECS design is we can just turn systems off. Like, you don't want atmospherics, you don't want to have the penalties for atmospherics, you don't want to have the benefits of atmospherics, just turn it off. There you go. No more atmospherics in the game.
I'm gonna write this out.
It'll get to the point where our game modes are strictly determined by which systems are enabled, and that's it. Like, you want to play like Tokyo Drift mode? Well, we'll put the drifting component on all of our spaceships or something, or you'll enable drift or you'll disable drag. Like that's all it is. It's just turning on and turning off.
Which is built for like racing, let's say. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That is an incredibly good idea because the versatility that you'll have when you're implementing game modes, like you could even have people who want their own servers with custom game modes doing that. Yeah. It would be very flexible and it would be very
especially with workshop support. Like everything you need to make your own game mode, you can just make in one workshop item. And then someone can just install the workshop item on the server, which automatically installs it for like a client as well, once the client wants to join, and you're golden.
Communities could rally around this. It wouldn't have to be content creators because of the workshop. The workshop would allow
for a little bit.
Well, this is the whole idea of ECS in the first place.
I mean, later.
No, Cubba, we're about to wrap up anyways. That's good. This is the whole meeting.
Bye-bye.
Peace. We've been wanting to do this for a while anyways. Like, ECS is, it has, this is the reason that mushrooms and why we wanted to implement ODB in the beginning, because the idea is that yes, it does make all of these things way better, but that's a good point because we could bring this into a game mode setting and have it help us test things better. We'll just have to talk about how to do that. I mean, obviously ECS Refactor we'll have some parts in that, but also, like blocks, like we have our core block right now where you can buy stuff from it, and it's like, well, maybe in this new game mode we would restrict that, and we don't want to make like fundamental changes to the core block itself because we want to make sure that it still functions that way in the original game mode. So it'll just be some tricky decision making that we'll have to do in order to make that work.
I'm thinking if we go with the shipyard method for a while, we need to definitely implement something kind of like a battlefield kind of.
That's what I'm saying. No, imagine if we did this. I would love to have just a new game mode, and we just keep our old game mode the way it was, and then we just have an off the fucking deep end beta testing game mode that's like completely separate, where we do it. Because what I would love to do is to start a game mode which has this end goal in sight. You know what I'm saying? Like, because right now, if we were to start implementing all these features in the main gameplay, I mean, it would be unplayable for like 2 years, you know, because we'd have these features that are just not ready yet, and then everybody would get annoyed. What I would love to do is have our main game mode right now, which is simple but fun, and then just not touch that, or just balance it to be, or like fix it up and make it better to be exactly what it is, which is, you know, a quick kind of, you know, battlefield style game mode.
Skirmish.
A skirmish. And then I would love to make a whole new game mode which starts prototyping these deep fucking mechanics, which are going to be very intensive to balance and get right and feel right, and have all this depth without making it obnoxious and weird, but have it be in its own controlled environment. On
because right now the seek and destroy doesn't really work with those, but capture and hold would definitely work a lot better.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, we'll definitely figure that out. All right, I've got to go. That's the meeting for today. If you guys want to, make sure that you show. We're gonna have a meeting on Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, as we always do. And we're going to have a test. I'm going to try to play the game tonight. I would love for Astral to get on so we can try his 200-player server. That would be dope. But if that doesn't happen, we'll just play on the normal server because I just want to play. And then we'll go from there. But yeah, that sounds pretty good so far. Anybody else have any last words or anything like that before we all leave?
I'm going into battle.
Going into battle? Good.
I need your strongest potions.
Alright, hold up. Funny.
We require more pylons.
Alright, anybody else? Okay, I'm gonna say that's no on everybody. I gotta go anyways, so that's fine. Alright, I will see you guys Monday at 4, and we will be doing some playtests this weekend.
I thought you had a
Everybody
meeting on
knows-
Saturday.
What? Saturday?
What?
Sunday?
I don't know.
With Kami.
I don't know. Okay, bye.
What?
Get out of
Bye.
here. Get out of here.
Get out of
No,
here,
that's
Cabbage.
different.
Go.
Oh, I'm
Go
wrapping
away.
up things.
Cabbage.
See, now you put me off, and I can't remember what I was
I'm
gonna
sorry.
say.
I'm sorry,
Sing.
buddy. Just take your time.
I'm not gonna sing. See, we have this there, so I can just go ahead and close this, so that's done. God damn it, what was I gonna say? Damn it, why did you do this to me? Why did you do this to me? And then I have to go in here and shut down Iron Armada.
Dance for me, monkey.
Damn it, what was I gonna say?
By the way, did we have any weapon balance in this build?
No, I
I
don't
have
think
to
so.
redo this.
Oh, we need to do that. We can do that server side though. It's
Yeah,
not
the server
hard.
side.
Yeah. We'll do that. Something about Astral and testing large servers.
He just needs to get on and do it.
I don't remember. Oh, right. That's what I was going to say. If anybody wants to help out with development, the GitLab is still open. Go to just gitlab.bluedrake42.com. You can go check out Iron Armada, and you can help there. We've already had a bunch of people that are helping out. And, of course, if you want to participate in development and host your own server and help make things better, because eventually, like, for instance, I would love to get workshop support in. If anybody in the community happens to have a lot of experience with the workshop support systems, then let us know. You could probably help us. I mean, obviously, we have, like, Donkey's pretty well adept with workshop, but it's not perfect. Like, we're gonna have to do some work. And I mean, Donkey, you've never implemented workshop before, right? I'm pretty sure this is the first time for all of us.
No, I've only done a few basics with
Yeah,
it.
exactly. So if we have, I mean, if there's somebody out there that's just like, fuck yeah, I've done this all before, like, hit us up. What, Lexi?
Oh, so yeah. So with the workshop stuff, switching our ship formats, our save formats from TOMLs or whatever the hell we're using right now to PNGs or images, so you can actually look at it.
That's not a bad idea.
Because then you'd be able to see that in the workshop image.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to switch it though. We could just make it so it converts it, so it has like an additional thing.
We could use that as the save file.
Can you?
Maybe?
Yeah. Just like each pixel or every like this block of pixels is this color and that color.
Yeah, but we start doing it.
We'll cover that on Monday at 4. But that's another thing. Just overview. If anybody wants to help us out, do that. Go there.
I thought it'd be a cool
GitLab.
idea.
Hit up anybody. We can get help. I've got to go because it's my wife's birthday.
Have fun.
But
Get out of here.
I'll see you guys next